Definitely hard to see on camera, but we got a little bit of snow here. Gonna try to push some of this stuff here. Get it out here. Oh. The old girl pushes pretty good. 1976 GMC Sierra Grande. 3/4 ton. Wish it was a 1 ton. That'd be nice. Have that Dana 60 front axle, but it's a 8400 GVW Dana 44 because it's a camper special pickup, so it's got them ginormous big hubs on there, Spicer hubs. Dana Spicer, good stuff. I like my Fords too, but I'll tell you what, these Fords are a little bit more expensive than these Chevys, you know. And in the 70s vintage, you know, when I talk about cars and trucks, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, I'm more of a parts guy than I am really any kind of brand necessarily. You know, that's what I tell people. You know, because in the 70s, well, and through the 80s and stuff, and 60s too, just follow along. We'll just keep in the, let's say, 73 to 79 range. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, they were darn near the pretty same truck. You know, example, this truck's got it originally came with a 350 small block, and the guy built a 396 that I bought it from to put in it, and because he used to run it out in the dunes back in the 80s. Anyway, it's got a Dana 44 front axle and a corporate 14 rear. That corporate 14, well, if anybody knows, that's tough as nails. You ain't gonna hurt that thing. I mean, not in a stock pickup form. I mean, if you do, I don't know, you're probably doing something you shouldn't. But the transfer case is a new process 205. Transmission is an SM 465, which I'm not a big fan of the 465 Muncie. It shifts like a tank. I mean, it's rough. Sometimes it's hard to find gears. It's stubborn. So let's jump to Ford in that vintage. Dana 44 front, Dana 60 rear. Very good stuff. Dodge had the same things, Dana 44, Dana 60 rear, etc. Ford and Dodge primarily ran new process 435 truck transmission. For those that may not know, that's a granny gear, deep reduction first and reverse, 4-speed. A lot of them called second gear, first gear, right? 1, 2, 3, and then low. But I like the 435. They're a little beefier, shifts a whole lot nicer. You know, even if you hot rod one, you can still, now, you know, it's not no car 4-speed or nothing, so you can't really hot rod them too bad, but if you practice it, you can shift them decent. But Chevrolet, in that 73 to 79 vintage, they also had the option for the new process 435. I don't know what it cost, but not very many people opted for that. And they're rare to find. I would love to find a new process 435 that came out of a 70s Chevy pickup, because it would just bolt right in, bolt to my transfer case, etc. Bell housing, because they changed the bell housing pattern. Ford, Dodge, Chevy, and new process actually did cast a universal transmission case that had all the spots for Ford, Chevy, or Dodge. Didn't matter. You could bolt any bell housing to it. Anyway. And you know, they're just good trucks. You know, Dana 60 or the Corporate 14. Chrysler had their 975 they put back there too, I believe. Same transfer cases, the 205. They're just bulletproof, man. Gear driven, cast iron case, just beautiful. So they're all the same parts, different motor, different sheet metal, different wiring, but front axles, you know, rear axles are about equivalent. Transmission choices, and I like the standards myself. If you haven't been able to tell, this is a standard. But yeah, a little bit of rambling about stuff here as I try to clear some snow. We had a bunch of gravel put down here, and I'm trying not to take too much of it off, but I'll be able to put it back together, rake it out. Anyway, so that's just kind of a little talk about it. I really wished I was sitting in a, you know, 78 3/4 or 1 ton highboy with a 390 and a new process 435, 205 transfer case, what they came with, Dana 60 rear. 1 ton would have been the Dana 60 front, which those are hard to find. They sit up taller, you know, they got a little bit more ground clearance. I think the cabs are a little better. At least you can shut the door on them. You know, these Chevys, I mean, holy smokes. And this thing's rusted. This truck literally only has 74,122 miles on it. That is original. No joke. This motor's only got like 23,000 on it. But the fenders are all rusted on it, and cab mounts and stuff. These tires are old bias plies. Love the old bias plies. RVT something or other. They kind of look like a groundhog, if anybody's familiar with those. And they were purchased in 1984. I got the Les Schwab receipt to prove it. They got like 18,000 miles on them now. Anyway, enough of a little rambling while I was pushing some snow one-handed here. Not too bad with a stick shift and etc. So, hey, we'll see you guys. Skinny pedal set it. And we'll take care. We'll do some chainsaw videos. But a little bit of knowledge of my trucks and stuff. I love Jeeps and all that nonsense. Motors. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, it don't matter. I'd like to find like a 74, 75 Power Wagon. Those things were pretty slick. 318 or 360, or a lot of guys put 440s in them. But like the Fords, they got that new process in it, 435 transmission. And I'm a big advocate of that. They're nice, real nice. And then T18s, they had T18s in there, and the diesels had T19s, and that's some good information. Because T19, T18, if you have one of them old trucks and you want to put a diesel in it, like an old 6.9 or 7.3 IDI, you can get the bell housing off a T19 4-speed, put it on your 435. Now the gear ratios aren't going to be so close, but you'll be able to get it in that truck. And I really thought about actually putting like a 6.2 Detroit diesel in this truck for the fuel economy. You know, they're not a powerhouse, but they'll do. They just sip the fuel, and it'd be neat to go down the road at close to 20 miles a gallon versus 6 with this thing. Big block, double pumper Holly on it. You know, it's I don't know what the camshaft is, but I'd imagine it's probably like a 430 or 375 horse Chevelle cam or something like that. This motor originally, when he built it in the 80s, when this truck had 50,000 miles on it, it was 475 horse on the dyno. And then in 2000, he put the blade on the front and didn't need all that horsepower, so he